So people like Donna Brazile, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Hillary Clinton, these are all DNC goons that you can now thank for a President Trump. Now, what they try to do is they try to rig the primary, they tried to divide the base, divide and conquer, and they didn't think it would catch up with them. They did this so they can help themselves, presumably because they would have been rewarded with a spot on Hillary Clinton's administration. Well, that backfired tremendously, and now there's hell to pay. So according to the Huffington Post, on Thursday, Democratic Party officials held their first staff meeting since Hillary Clinton's stunning loss to Donald Trump in the presidential race. It didn't go well. Donna Brazile, the interim leader of the Democratic National Committee, was giving what one attendee described as a rip-roaring speech to about 150 employees about the need to have hope for wins going forward, when a staffer identified only as Zach stood up with a question. "Why should we trust you as chair to lead us through this?" he asked, according to two people in the room. "You backed a flawed candidate, and your friend, former DNC chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz, plotted through this to support your own gain and yourself." Some DNC members started to boo, and some told him to sit down. Brazile began to answer, but Zach had more to say. "You're part of the problem," he continued, blaming Brazile for clearing the path for Trump's victory by siding with Clinton early on. "You and your friends will die of old age, and I'm going to die from climate change. You and your friends let this happen, which is going to cut 40 years off of my life expectancy." Zach gathered his things and began to walk out. When Brazile called after him, asking where he was going, he told her to go outside and tell people there why she should be leading the party. Two DNC staffers confirmed the exchange. Asked for comment, Brazile said in an email, "As you can imagine, the individual involved is a member of the staff, and I personally do not wish to discuss our internal meeting." Yeah, I bet you don't, because you probably were embarrassed, and you should be embarrassed. If Donna Brazile is seriously thinking that she's going to continue to be the DNC chair after the shenanigans that she pulled, you're out of your mind. And let me just say this, to the staffers that were booing Zach, leave. We don't need you there. We don't need you there. If you couldn't see that the writing was on the wall, if you couldn't see how bad the DNC was to its own supporters and how that would backfire, you have no business being in the DNC. None whatsoever. It's time for you to leave. Now, what he said there was really poignant. He said that you and your friends will die of old age. I'm going to die from climate change. That's the sad reality, is that anyone who's a millennial right now, we don't know what our golden years, our so-called golden years, are going to be like. We don't know all of the consequences that will come to fruition due to climate change. We don't know how this will affect the weather, what types of new diseases will emerge once the ice caps melt. We don't know how high exactly the sea level will rise. We don't know. And now we can brace for the worst case scenario because of the selfishness of people like Donna Brazile, because of the selfishness of Debbie Wasserman Schultz, because of the selfishness of Hillary Clinton. See, narcissism and hubris and having an oversized ego has a price. You thought that you can do anything you wanted, but I've got news for you. This is a democracy. This is not an authoritarian regime. You don't have free reign to do whatever you want, and actions have consequences, and you must now be held accountable. Anyone associated with Hillary Clinton, their career should be over. Donna Brazile, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, you're done. Your career should be over. Go home, retire. But Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she's going to continue on. Donna Brazile, she'll probably go back to CNN. No. It's time for you to retire. You messed up badly. You gave us a President Trump. That's your fault. That's on your hands. You're going to have to live with that for the rest of your life because of what you did. And the base did not come out to support your corruption. That's your fault. That's your fault. Now live with it and take accountability for it. Step down. Don't even try to run. Don't give us any bullshit about you trying to be the permanent chair, Donna. No way. You and Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Hillary Clinton should be complete and utterly ashamed of yourself. And any other disgusting member of the Democratic establishment should just be embarrassed. Their career should be over. People like Kristen Gillibrand, people like Chuck Schumer should step down and just allow for a re-election in their state. That's how disgraced they are. But they won't do that because, again, I don't think they can learn from something like this right away. It's going to take multiple defeats for them to actually see that the way that you're doing business as usual will not work. It won't work. So, thanks for Trump, Donna and Debbie and Hillary. Hope it was worth it.